What's going on, everyone? This is Mitch with SC Weather. Hope y'all been having a great day. We're on the eve of what looks to be another severe weather outbreak tomorrow. I don't see any kind of tornado outbreak or anything, but I do think we're going to have some reports for some damaging winds is a big threat. Hail is a big threat, as it looks like a squall line-like feature is going to begin to develop tomorrow evening and move overnight through Mississippi and Alabama, then begin to weaken. We're also talking about the threats of severe storms, even in the Carolinas tomorrow, in the Georgia, maybe up to Virginia. I don't think it's getting talked about enough. Actually, chances have dropped over in this area for severe weather, but I don't think they should have. But they are the professionals, so they know what they're talking about more than I do. But I'm going to talk about why I think tomorrow has the potential, even here in the Carolinas, for some big-time thunderstorms and some big-time hail producers. We're going to break all that down. Like the video, guys, if y'all like it. If y'all do, it helps my video get further out there on the YouTube search method. Subscribe if you haven't. I talk weather here on the Eastern U.S., and it's a great way to support me and the family I already have here to watch my videos. Y'all are amazing. Also, if there's anything I can pray about, anything that anybody else can pray about, drop it in the comments. Gives me an opportunity to pray for you. Gives other people an opportunity to pray for you. And definitely use this in to your advantage to definitely get prayed for, because prayer is powerful. So thank y'all for tuning in, and let's get going with this. So the Storm Prediction Center, there's a basically there was that smaller area of enhanced. There's a much larger area of enhanced. We haven't went moderate or anything. And you know what? I don't know if we are. I think this enhanced is driven off this squall line. It's going to really develop in Arkansas and really get its act together, ram through Memphis, the entire state of Mississippi, and get into the Alabama, and then begin to weaken a little bit. We'll see how much it can hold together. But this squall line that forms, and I'm going to show y'all the HRRR model that forms, this thing looks nasty. It almost looks like what we call a derecho. Those, there was one that went through Iowa last year that caused massive damage. But this is going to be a big-time weather event just because of that. Then you have a chance over here in the dry line in Texas for individual supercells to form. And there's going to be a tornado threat, some kinks with the line, and then there's going to be a chance of some storms to develop ahead of the main line of storms that have the potential for some isolated tornadoes, especially in Mississippi. I'm watching this area, but you look at the tornado probability, only a 5% chance. We don't have any 30% chance or 45% chance like the last two events. Wind threat is high, 30% chance of wind damage. From 25 miles of any given point in the red area. So you notice you only got a general risk of thunderstorms in the Carolinas, but I'm telling you, I think this is going to get stretched more east at the last second tomorrow, and I'll show you why. But let's get going with this. So what we got here, we're going to look at a broader view of the HRRR model to see what we got going on here. We're getting into this evening. We have a couple rogue supercells popping up in Texas right now, and it's kind of showing it on the HRRR model, and I think there's a chance for some more. And these things could be big-time hail producers, so if you live near the Dallas area, south of Dallas, maybe a road. It's going to be hard to know where these form. There's already one ongoing right now. There's also showing some storms popping up in the overnight hours here, even in the South Carolina, North Carolina area. We're going to watch that. So you might get woken up by some nasty storms. Let me make this a little bit bigger for you guys. And so don't be surprised to hear some rumble of thunder, some flashes of lightning overnight hours into the Carolinas. I'm not sold on that, but it could definitely happen. But as we get into Friday, early afternoon, check out these big-time storms popping up in South Georgia. According to the HRRR model, South and Middle Georgia, and then the Panhandle of Florida down here. These can be big-time storms. I would not be surprised if these are severe, if these can produce a quick tornado, especially these down here. And look at this energy right here. This is off the cold front that's about to push through. Look what gets going here. It really comes together in Arkansas. You actually have two little waves of storms. One might get going here, and then one right here. I'm going to show you more of what I'm thinking tomorrow for the Carolinas here in a second. But look at this line of storms that gets going here. And guys, the timing of this is late evening, late afternoon, early evening, and it just gets going. And I'm telling you, it's going to be an active night across the Deep South for sure with this. I'm going to have a video on this tomorrow as this is ongoing, but this is going to be active overnight it's 07Z Saturday, which is basically, a little around midnight, a little after Central Standard Time. So this thing is going to be moving. Each movement you see is 1 hour increments. So it's moving pretty fast. It's going to hit Birmingham in the wee hours of the morning, and check out, it's going to lose some steam, but this thing's going to go all the way to the Panhandle, all the way to the coastal areas in Mississippi, as a directional change kind of makes it go from north to south, and then it's going to lose some steam, but it definitely could bring some more moisture Saturday into the Carolinas, and we'll watch to see how much this holds together. But you move back in time, look at all the storms popping up in the Carolinas. I'm going to get a little bit closer up view of this, but these storms in the Carolinas that pop up tomorrow, if they do, and there's not a lot of confidence in the professionals at the National Weather Service locally on these, but if these things get going, this could be some big-time hailstorms, some mini supercells that gets going. You have some steep mid-level lapse rates. It's pretty cold temperature-wise. It gets pretty cold in the upper atmosphere pretty quickly. So you have low freezing levels in the upper atmosphere, so that promotes more of a hail threat. So we're going to watch this, but we're going to see what we got here. Bear with me, guys. But you look right here. It's a little bit closer, and here comes the squall line moving through. A little bit closer look, and look at all the explosive storms popping up in the Carolinas. This is the afternoon hours Friday. And actually, I was talking about I was going to go chase west, but I'm actually going to stay home because I think I can get some good action from these storms just locally. There's no point in driving all the way west for a squall line. Definitely not for that. But look what gets going. Look at the squall line that comes through. This is going to be strong winds. There's going to be some opportunities for some tornadoes in this too, which makes it even more dangerous at being overnight and along a squall line, which can be really dangerous. But the main threat is this is damaging winds, guys. This is in the middle of the night. So you might go to bed if you're in Mississippi, Alabama, even areas of Georgia, and then just get really abruptly woke up. It's going to be kind of one of them nights. We move to basically the Cape ahead of this. Look how it builds. And even into the Carolinas. Look at it building in the Carolinas. You got Cape values according to the HRRR model of 2,000 to close to 3,000 joules per kilogram. So you have you got a good bit of surface Cape, base Cape here building here, but there's a ton building ahead of the squall line, well up into the 4,000 range. And then check out the squall line that gets going, and it immediately stabilizes the atmosphere, and you lose Cape. That's how it normally works. You look here, sorry, it's a little slow. The significant tornado parameter. Notice the tornado threat, it's not that high as you get into tomorrow. There's a few opportunities for it to spike down here and here in Arkansas before it turns to a line. And then along the line, there can be some tornado threats. This is where it could get dangerous as we get into overnight. But overall, I don't foresee a tornado outbreak or anything. So for people worrying about tornadoes, I think the biggest threat here is going to be wind and hail. But you look at the winds associated with the line as the line gets going. And check out how the line's the most intense here around midnight as it's getting into, this is going to be give or take, but the Arkansas-Mississippi border. It's showing wind speeds, wind gusts upwards to 60 to 70 miles per hour ahead of this. That is damaging winds. That is big-time winds, and it goes all the way through. And weekends, obviously, some as it gets into Georgia to the early morning hours of Saturday. So this is a big deal. So we get a close-up view, a close-up look or view of the Carolinas. And this is what I want to show you off. If y'all hang tight with me here. As we're getting into more, you see these little mini cells, like this one popping up near Greenville, near Anderson, South Carolina. These, and you can actually see the pink on it. These have a chance. Where do they pop up? Not everybody's going to get rain in the Carolinas, but where they pop up, someone is going to get hail tomorrow in the Carolinas. I think that's a sure bet. I'm just saying. Even in Virginia, if you live in Virginia, I think some isolated supercells can develop. But as we get moving into the afternoon hours, look at these things. Even Columbia, look at Columbia. There is going to be some thunderstorms out there that's going to pump out some crazy looking clouds. There's some supercells showing up in near Norfolk. It's hard to predict where these are going to pop up, but the HRRR model is very consistent on these things popping up. And I'm just confused that we're not at least under a marginal risk here in the Carolinas and Georgia. even maybe up into Virginia, just because these things could really produce some large hail. And I think we will. I think it'll get extended overnight to the early morning hours, and I think this is a big deal. You look at the HRRR model. I'm going to look at a sounding around the Midlands of South Carolina. Notice it says temperatures tomorrow around 80 degrees in the Midlands of South Carolina, any given place. Okay, look at the Cape. The Cape is strong. It's close to 2,000 joules per kilogram. That's a good bit of Cape. 80 degrees. It's warm. Dew points. Notice how dew points are a little dry, but look how fast the temperatures drop from at the surface, and look how they drop very quickly in the upper atmosphere. That tells me that there's going to be a chance for large hail, and in some cases, maybe, who knows, golf ball size hail. We just don't know, but hail is going to be a big threat with any storms that form tomorrow in the Carolinas. So don't let your guard down. I know you're going to look at your apps and you're just going to say, 20% chance of rain, but I'm telling you, there's a chance for some explosive thunderstorms in the Carolinas tomorrow even. So be weather aware. Tomorrow's going to be an active day. Praying for you guys to the west, anybody getting affected by storms, because it's going to be very active as far as damaging winds for sure. Whoever gets slammed by the most intense part of this squall line that really develops. So thank y'all for tuning in. That's all I got. Keep y'all weather updated tomorrow. Also, I mentioned this. I haven't mentioned it in a while. Follow me on Twitter. I'm very active on Twitter. My handle is SC Weather, but my name on Twitter is just Mitch West now. I kind of changed it to that. Facebook, I talk about local weather here in South Carolina, but I'm still very active. So thank y'all for the amazing support, and y'all stay safe tomorrow.